today I will make an introduction to the Beebot Bluebot. So I will do it with Yungjin Oh from the PH Saint-Gall, but he's a teacher and now he's teaching. So he will come 15 minutes later, okay? So I will make the introduction and after he will come to share with you. So first, I want to make a description of the Beebot and the Bluebot and show you some resources because in fact, my goal is to inspire you. I want to give you some ideas of what you can do with your children. So first of all, these robots are a great tool to develop programming skills in an intuitive way. It is a floor robot, okay? So depending on the instructions given to them, you can move it 15 centimeters at a time, and both the Bluebot and the Beebot can rotate 90 degrees. And of course, they are reachable via a UBS cable. And you can see that they have a robust design and very friendly with two eyes, a smile. The Beebot is with the colors of Albi, of course. And it is programmed through buttons on the back, as you can see. More specifically, you have 7 keys, okay? This one is forward. You have the one backward, on the left, on the right, the start with the go button, the pause, and the delete. And it is especially suitable for Cycle 1, so preschool children. So here you have also a picture of the buttons that the children can use. So I change a slide. So one of the questions that I ask myself is why to use it? Okay, it is a tool, but this tool can help a teacher to work on some points with the children, of course. So you can work on the framework of several disciplines. So here we have 4 points that I want to explore with you. First of all, you can explore space with your students. For example, by locating oneself or the objects with the help of the location system. You can also making and describing their own movement or the movement of the objects. And you can also determine the position, for example, of an object according to the different reference points. So that's one point that you can work with the students. Another point is more the represent technical phenomena or mathematical situation. For example, you can make the students observe or formulate hypotheses on a problem. You can also ask them to organize data, or you can confront them and communicate their observations and results to others. And of course, they can explore asking questions. The third point that I wanted to highlight is that they can situate themselves in their spatial and social context. For example, by familiarizing themselves with the reading of plans and maps. Also, they can use specific terms related to space and geography, and by orienting themselves on space. And finally, I wanted to focus on the 4th point, that is the development of cross-curricular skills. For example, collaboration, communication with peers, taking their points of view into account by analyzing the situation, making hypotheses, making choices, learning from mistakes, because it's not the teacher who will tell them you're right or wrong, is in fact the tool that is going they are going to see. And of course, sharing experiences with the other students. And you also have the language or extra language knowledge that can be used by, in fact, identifying and locating words by becoming familiar with the basic commands of computer devices, for example. So that are some of the points that in general with the activities that I will show you, you can do with this tool. So one of the questions that we have is, okay, but what is the difference between the Beebot and the Bluebot? So the Bluebot, so the one that I have on my hand, has a Bluetooth mode. That means that the user can program and control it, the robot, by tablet, smartphone, or the Bluebot program bar. We're going to see it later, and I think that Yungjin will show you with the app. And now, to be more concrete, I want to show you some examples of activities. If we have time, I want to show you 2 or 3. If we have more time, I can show you more. Don't be afraid. The activities that I will show you are in French, in German, and in Italian, but only with the picture, I am sure that you will understand what the activity is. So I will just stop my sharing and opening the Roteco platform where I want to share with you up the activities. 1 second, I close these windows, stop the presentation. Okay, are you seeing right now my screen or not yet? I don't see. Oh, sorry, I have a problem with my sharing of screen. Okay, normally you are seeing my screen right now with the Roteco platform. So I will go to the activities and I go and filter by tool. Okay, so here I will take the Beebot Bluebot. And now I have all the activities containing this tool. But the ones that I want to share with you are the Olympic Games. Okay, so with the Beebot Bluebot, you can play hockey, you can do ski or sled. So I will share with you this activity where in fact you are going to clean, okay, the hockey after a game. So here on the picture, you can see that you have the Beebot and the children have to program the Beebot to go and clean the hockey game. So let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see the picture. And of course, this activity takes around 45 minutes, 1 hour with the children. You need the, how can I say, the game that you can print. So you can download it just here and print this hockey game. And you can use any kind of objects that you have on your classroom. It can be, I don't know, a small paper that you will put on the hockey field. It doesn't matter what kind of object you have. It has to be around 10, 20 objects, but it depends also what you are going to ask to the children to take. You also need to put on the Beebot some, we will say, dépenses here from paper, so he can take all the objects that you have on the field. So that's the first activity that I wanted to show. The second activity that I want to show you is also on the robotic, but here is the teacher. They have created with the children, with the students, they have created a field. So in fact, you can also use and make stories to teach with the Beebot. Making here, you have a scenario and the students will build the field, okay? With snow, here we can see that you have the field with trees. And the teacher had, so here you have the start. And on the picture, you can see that the children have to program the Beebot to arrive to the end of the field. So that's the second activity that I wanted to share with you. And this activity was shared by a teacher on the Canton Vaud that participate, in fact, to the contest that we have done 1 year ago. So that's a nice kind of stimulation for them, is to participate also to contests. The other activity that I wanted to show you is also shared by the same teacher, is in fact making curling. Here you have the start of the activity, and you are going to ask the children, in fact, to put the two pugs, I don't know how to say in English, from the beginning until the center of the field. Here again, you can also download this curling circle to say to the children that they can go, that they can put the object in the middle. Again, this activity will take around 30 minutes, and you can also teach them the language regarding the how to touch the bottom, right, in front or background, how to turn. And the teacher that make this activity too, she has shared with us some etiquettes, some stickers that she has asked to the students to put before they press the go button, meaning that you have to think, put the hypothesis on a paper saying, I want to go one time up, one time on the left to arrive to the result. Yes. If anyone has a question, please don't hesitate to take the floor. You can, of course, ask questions. Here I have one Melody that asks how that works to connect when you have 2-3 Bluebots in class and the bars. How do you know which Bluebot is connected to which bar? That's a very good question, Melody, and we are going to let Yungjin answer it, because he's the one who will show with the tablet how it works, the Bluebot. So I will share with you, Yungjin, the question too. I finished just sharing the activities that I want, and after we can go to the app. We can have also this kind of activity that it's an activity to learn the letters or the sounds. So the teacher had shared on the board some sounds, and the goal is that the teacher will ask to the students, okay, can you write the name dad? And so the children can make the comments to the Beebots, so they are going to go to the stickers where the syllable is. So I have seen that we have Yungjin. Are you here? Do you listen to us?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. I was just sharing with our audience some of the activities that we have on Roteco. I will just finish with this one, and after I let you the floor. That's okay? And I will also share one question that we already have from Melody. I will share it with you, but first I finish just this, okay, Yungjin?
Okay, yes, no problem.
And the last activity that I wanted to share with you is written in Italian, but I will share anyway, is that you can also write a story with the children, and reading the story together, you can move the Bluebots to make a scenario. It can be a scenario of nature. So here you can see that the teachers have shared some insects and some flowers. But of course, you can create another kind of scenario using, for example, the space or another kind of scenario. So that's it. I will stop my sharing, and Yungjin, maybe I share with you the question that Melody has for you. So the question is, how that works to connect when you have 3-4 Bluebots in the class, and how do I know which Bluebot is connected to which bar? So I copy paste the question here, so you have it also on the chat.
Sure. I can answer that question now and show you an example for later. The important thing is, if you have 4 or 6 Bluebots, it's important to label them on the outside, maybe with some tight sticker tape, but also inside, you have to change the name of every Bluebot. So this could be Frank, Tom, John, and that's written outside. On the inside with the system's preference, you can change the name. And that's very important to do when you have more than one Bluebot. And then when you go to control them, you can choose, I want to control Frank. And then on the outside, it says Frank. On the inside, it's programmed as Frank. And that's a very easy way to solve that problem. Okay, well, I do want to first say thank you for waiting, and thank you for Sophia for taking over things. Oh, good, Melody, I'm glad that answers your question. I just finished my teaching for today at the Pädagogische Hochschule, and I just ran over here, and now I'm ready, so thank you for your patience. Sophia, please, can I share my screen? Do I have the privilege to do that? Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Normally you can share your screen. Can you try? And we will see.
Okay. Doesn't seem to be working here.
I will put you as a co-animator, so you
normally
you have the same rights as me.
Okay. Okay. The problem we had before with sharing screen was resolved, but for some reason it's not working with this Zoom call right now. Okay, that's
if you prefer, let me check again.
What I can do. Okay.
Yeah, you are co-animator, so normally you should be able to share the screen.
Okay. Good. No, it's not working, but as a backup, what I did was quickly took some screenshots. It always happens with technology.
That's the plan B.
Yeah, exactly. Things go wrong. Okay. Good. Okay.
Don't hesitate if you need me. Oh,
okay.
Oh, now we see your screen.
Yes, I just took quick photos of my presentation. So this is the introduction slide. And now to the next photo here, the agenda. I guess Sophia already clarified the session's recorded for copyright and for personal privacy issues. Camera off unless you want it to be recorded and seen. I will go through what is a Bluebot Beebot. It seems that some people already have an experience with using these programmable robots, but I still would do a quick basic overview of what is a Bluebot Beebot. I do want to show you a live demo. I have some 6 Bluebots here. I'll focus mostly on Bluebots because I have Bluebots here. Beebot basically has the same function as a Bluebot, but has less functions, like with steering with yourself with Bluetooth connection. I also will go over the live demo of different apps. If you don't have a Bluebot, but you still want to experience it and do the very easy programming steps, you can download for free Bluebot and Beebot apps. I'll show you that also. Then I'll open it up for questions and answers. A little bit about me. I have 17 years teaching in elementary school and middle schools across different countries, the US, also parts of Switzerland, and also in Liechtenstein. I spent my time not only as a teacher, but also the director of technology. So that's in Switzerland, it's called the PICS and TICS in German-speaking part, which is more the pedagogy and also the IT infrastructure work. I did both for 9 years, kept me very busy. I also, for 7 years, was a principal, a director of elementary school. And then now for 1 year, I'm working at the Pädagogische Hochschule. This is the University of St. Gallen in teacher education. For 1 year in there, I am a presenter and I work in Institute ICT and Media. And I have 2 courses, 2 modules that I teach. And I'm also working on different projects for our canton here in St. Gallen. I also included I'm a father of 2 daughters, and that's important for me to explain because as I look at technology and as I look at new apps and new software and products, I'm a father. And it's important that things that I show and things that I support and things I include in my teaching is actually worth it. Because to be honest, there is a lot of junk out there. And it's very difficult to determine if this is really has a pedagogy worth or not. So that's why I include it there, because I really do look closely at things from a teacher's point of view, but also as a parent. So what is Bluebot and Beebot? As I said before, it's a programmable floor robot. They are quite expensive. The Bluebot can be around 120 euros. Really depends if you can find a deal or if you're buying in francs. And the Beebot's around 90 euros. One of the biggest advantages of the Bluebot is that you can wirelessly control it with a tablet, smartphone, a computer, all over Bluetooth. So if you're deciding between the two, I want to save some money, but really invest a little bit more money to get the Bluebots. If you're just doing it for fun, and it's a Beebot's okay, but really, if you have the extra money, spend it on the Bluebot because the functions are much better. And one of the advantages, which I can show you later, you can see the insides, which is great for the students. They get to see the gears move, all the wires sticking out and the wheels move. It's really a better experience than a closed case like the Beebot. I do want to show you the live demo, but just the basics here. On the top of every Beebot and Bluebot, there are these functions on the back. And as it shows in the presentation here, there's a button forward and rotate and turn, and then backwards and a pause and a go. The bottom left blue X on your screen is a very, very important button here. It clears instructions. So when the students start doing programming, they push this and this and this, then they push go. It'll always remember that program, what you just did. If you want to add to the program, you can keep adding. But if you want to start a whole new program, you must clear. And this is a very important button to use. Always clear your program if you want to start a new one. And now, because I have the presentation open, I do want to show you these apps here. It's for Android and for all iOS, and it's free. I highly recommend you download these and try them out. Because the screen share is not working today, I won't be able to show you the live apps, but I will take some screenshots and show you what these apps look like. Okay, good. I'm going to switch now to my camera here. Please tell me if things go wrong, if you can't see anything properly. What I have here at our teacher university, we have, thankfully, a lot of different options for the Bluebot here. There are mats, which are very good to use because sometimes the floor, you have to watch the floor with carpet here. This is hard here. But when you have a carpet floor in your classroom, it can be a problem. So that's why having these mats are very easy. And plus, if you have like a cycle 1, cyclus 1, or cyclus 2, learning letters, having them combine it with ICT to program the Bluebot to go to different letters is a great, great cross-curriculum, fachübergreifend thing for your class. Also, you have maps here. If you're teaching coordinates, and you can see at the bottom here, the ABC and the 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. So you're teaching coordinates and mapping. It's also a great tool. It also brings a lot of fun to different subjects.
Yungjin, maybe we can just stop the sharing of the screen so I can put in big your camera. You know what I mean? Do you need the sharing, you know, where the app, Google Play?
No. Oh, yes, please switch. Yeah, please pin my camera instead of the photos. So I'm sorry.
Okay,
I hope everyone.
Does anyone see the camera of Yungjin big? Yes, thank you, Vince.
Okay.
Wait, Sophia, you can épingler, you know, on the 3 points, you can put Yungjin on in big.
Yeah, you can slide the bar over too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Vance.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So I'll
That's
quickly
okay. That's
just
okay. It's a small detail. You can
show
continue.
what the stuff that we have here. And also another floor mat for math for the basic shapes. You can use the Bluebot for that too. So it has a lot of options, not just to focus on ICT and technology work. You can connect it to different classes. And I'll show you now how this can be done. So on the back has all the controls here. And the great thing in the Bluebot, you can see inside. And it's very, very interesting to see all the gears and how everything moves. Now on the bottom here is two switches you probably can't read. One is a power and one is sound. The sound switch is very important when you have 20 Bluebots rolling around your classroom. You want to turn the sound off because these things beep every time you push a button and when it starts and stops. I can show you an example here. So we're starting on the letter W, and I just want to go to the letter O here. So I'll make sure clear, and then I do forward 2 times. I push 1, 2, then go. And then it will go forward to the O. It's a lot of fun. And then I can just clear it for the next program. So you can see how it's very basic, the programming with Bluebots. You can make it more challenging by adding obstacles. They have to drive around. They have to drive around the other Bluebots here and get from letter X to K, for example. And on the app, which I'll unfortunately can't show the live version, on the app, they have a lot more harder challenges. Now, in my experience, you can use in kindergarten, grade 1, 2, 3, no problem in grade 4. As you go to 5 and 6, they really enjoy it too, but they do need more challenges. So yes, I do recommend this all the way to grade 6 or cycle 2 in Switzerland. But as you go above, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yungjin, I just want to point something out.
Yes.
You showed the bottom of the Beebot, and just to make sure that people are clear, there are 2 different models. You have the older model, and the newer one has sensors underneath, and there's a little bit of a step up, whereas 2 extra switches.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Thank you.
That's a new model been out since about a year or 2.
What are the 2 new switches do?
It can detect the other Beebots and they can greet each other. It's not that important for what you do. The basics are the same, but it can detect other Beebots and greet them.
Yes, and that's also you can record the sound to say like hello.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's possible when the new one's in, but again, the basics are the same. There's no difference. But
that's just
when you turn it over, people might get confused.
Okay.
The new ones don't work on the loading station of the old ones. Sorry. Okay, let you go.
No, thank you for clarifying that. That I was unaware of, because I was aware of the Bluebots being able to talk to each other. And I realized these Bluebots we have here do not. So something I thought was wrong, but then you clarified that. Thank you. Another thing to have also is if you just have cards. This is a very analog way of doing things, but also very worthwhile when you're programming the robots. When the students come and they can program this, they lay it out that way, and then maybe their partner can actually use the Bluebot to follow the program. You also have the more digital technology advanced product here, where you put the codes in to this board here, and then it's connected through the Bluetooth to one of the Beebots. Basically, you play the program that you lay out here, and then the Bluebot goes. Okay, let's turn this around. We have about, I believe, Sophia, 15 minutes left till 6 o'clock.
Exactly, until 6 o'clock.
Good. So we do have time now for some questions while I take some screenshots, photos of the 2 apps I would like to show you. does anyone have some burning questions that would like to be addressed while I'm making these screenshots?
Don't hesitate to ask all the questions that you have, or take also the micro. If you don't want to write, you can also take the floor and share with us. Or if you also have other experiences to share with the Bluebot,
Yes.
it's always good to share with us.
That's right. The other person you, I guess.
Maybe I can point out, we at EduTech, we handle the Beebots and Bluebots in Switzerland. And regarding if you have any problems with the Beebot that is not running straight or turns or something, please feel free to fill out the form and send it back to us. And we try to repair it. We can take it apart and try and repair it as best we can, other than or replace it. And it's a 2-year guarantee, 2-year warranty.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing. Okay, I do have some screenshots ready now. Get more access.
You are taking the screenshots from the app?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I have them now. Perfect. Good. Okay. Here's the Beebot app. And like I said before, Sophia, can you pin now these photos that I'm sharing?
I will try to pin you. I hope that I have done it.
Okay. This is the Beebot app. And before the Bluebot came around, I was using the Beebot. And this app is a big hit, was a big hit, and is a big hit. The kids really, really enjoy it. And they have updated a bit since last time that I used in the class, but they have different scenarios here, like a garden, Egyptians, and Winter Wonderland. And for example, here is a screenshot from Winter Wonderland. You can see the Beebot at the bottom of the screen. The commands that were on the back of the Beebot are now a control panel to the right. And you do the same thing that you would do with the actual floor robot, but you do it all in this app here. So you can see this Beebot from the bottom has to go through the red flags, collect that hot chocolate, go straight, turn right, and then turn left and go to the finish. And this whole program idea works really well. It's a gamification perspective. And when the students reach their goal, they get a star, says it's great, and they move to the next level. So it is very motivating. It does get challenging at times, but it's a really, really a great app to do. Again, without a Beebot, it's free to download. If you do want to test it and try it by yourself, or bring it right to your classroom tomorrow, and then show the students, and then they can use this Beebot app. This is the home screen screenshot from the Bluebot app. And here you can see it's a little different because you can connect with the Bluebot. There's a controller mode at the top where you can physically from your smartphone or your tablet or even your computer control the Bluebot through Bluetooth. There's an explore mode and there's a challenge mode. The challenge mode is fantastic. I really enjoy that. And that's more for the upper elementary school kids. A lot of kids think, oh, this is so easy, but it does get a little difficult in the challenge mode. This is an example of the control mode here. You can control your Beebot from your device at the bottom part there. This is the explore mode. This is the menu, it's explore mode, where you can do step-by-step programming and basic programming. It's very similar to what I showed you with the cut-out pieces of paper with the arrows and the turning, or the digital version with the little platelets that you put in to that, you can do the same thing here. And they also have one interesting thing about the explore mode is repeats. In program, you want to repeat the program. I think that's a very great thing to have there. And also on the 45-degree turn, the normal Beebot and Bluebot only makes 90-degree turn. But here in this explore mode, you can make them go diagonal, which is a lot of fun too. And here's the challenge mode. And here you can use the app and get to A to B. There's obstacles in the way. There's ones where you have to go to point A to point B, but fewer buttons. So that means you cannot rotate left, for example. And that really makes your mind think, how do I get to the different points without certain buttons? And there's also random instruction. So for the upper elementary students or the more advanced lower elementary that really whiz through things, a real crack at programming, that's where you can really challenge them using these different apps. And that's where you can, it is a great opportunity to have both the actual robots and use these apps at the same time, because the app offers a lot of different things, especially in the more challenging, if you really want to challenge your students. And here's an example from get to point A to B with all the functions below. I think that is the last part of my screenshots there. I'm going to move the spotlight there.
Yungjin, I have a question.
Okay, perfect.
I was wondering if you have feedbacks for the special needs education, if you have data, can we use it with children with special needs? And of course, if we can use it, is the tablet also friendly for, I have never been to the app, so I was wondering when you were presenting if it is adaptable to them. Yes.
That's a good question. It really depends on what type of special need student it is. Obviously, we have students with the noise problem. All that beeping can be a problem. And also these flashing lights can be a problem for certain students, things that we as teachers have to be aware of before bringing that in. If I do have someone who has light problem, there's a lot of flashing lights or there's beeping that causes issues. As far as other issues, I've only had good experiences with Beebot and Bluebot in my classrooms. One thing that I did notice is there's a lot of elementary school students who had difficulty with the step-by-step programming, doing it in their head. They know I want to go forward once. Boop, I do one and I go. I want to go forward another time. Then I clear the code and go forward once and go. The real advanced thing is to get multiple steps together and put the program together all in your head. And that I find is very, very difficult no matter what type of student you have. Let's see, with the app, the question with the app. I didn't find any issues with students with special needs or in a normal classroom with the app. Of course, the buttons, it depends on the touch of the child, because the buttons can be difficult to push on a touch screen. And the frustration level can be difficult because the intention was to push this button and the other button was pushed. Then you got to clear the code and do it again. So there are frustration things, but that happens with other students as well. I hope that answers your question, and it really depends if you can clarify for me, maybe specifically what you had in mind with special needs students.
I didn't have any kind of specialty, special needs education, but I was wondering in the group, today we talk a lot of inclusion,
Yes.
and using this kind of tool, I was wondering the advantage or disadvantage, but as I can hear, it's more like advantage to use this kind of tool.
I've only found advantages working with students with the Bluebot, Beebot in both apps. Okay. I haven't had any issues at all. The only issue I had was it's time to stop. And we need to stop and move on. Yeah. because they do enjoy the challenge of using it.
Mhm.
The Bluebot Beebot, I do recommend. It includes a fun way of to learn the basics of programming. I also found it very useful to cross the different subjects. And that is one extra step as a teacher we can plan. I want to use it also in my math class or my English class or my German class. And when you have lots of Beebots too, you can actually do dance moves and dance classes. You can program all 20 Beebots to synchronize in dance moves and to cross there's a lot of great information out there on the websites, and maybe even, I guess there's a representative of the company Beep that sells Beebots and Bluebots. They might have a part of the website to share lesson plans, because there's a lot of great teachers out there with a lot of great ideas who use Beebot and Bluebot in their classrooms. I highly recommend it. And there's so much more you can do than just using it in your ICT class.
There's two things that I found out. You can turn off the beep. There's a switch that turns off the beep in the Beebot. That's one issue there.
Mm-hmm.
What I've often found is the turning right or turning left. They often think it doesn't just turn right or left. It turns right and goes forward. You have to tell them, no, it just turns to the right or turn to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to make it go forward. That's two things that I noticed.
And what's really difficult for young students to think about is when it turns, you have to now push the straight button.
Exactly.
Because the whole orientation when the Beebot turns has changed. And you have to keep that in mind when you make the programs. And that's why I find it brilliant, because spatial thinking and that is needed. So I really like that the kids really have to think really out of the box. When the Beebot turns, it's a whole different orientation.
The idea of a sequence is also important. As I've seen with kids as they get older, they're used to playing with computer games where you just click and go around until they succeed. And I've seen kids, older kids, are having more and more problems doing a menu, a sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And here they have to do a sequence. There's an interesting, Matt, the road race, where it's actually even for an adult, it's complicated because you have to think of all the steps to get to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's a learning process to learn how to go through the sequence, step by step, not overspringing, not just kicking, pointing and clicking.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, along with other programs, this is a great start into programming. And also the way of thinking that you have to think in programming. And the beauty of this, there is a program element, but actually something moves. A physical robot moves on the floor, and that I find that combination is excellent.
And as you say, the motivation that in fact they have with, not only the Bluebot, Beebot, but using this kind of technology, we can notice that on children. Yes, if anyone has any kind of questions, please don't hesitate. And I have seen that some of the other workshops are also here. So if you want to take
welcome.
the floor, yes.
I did see a question pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so Melody asked to use
it
Bluebot
disappeared. It was with.
Do you have it?
No, it popped up and then it disappeared.
I can read
one
it.
person or two or something.
Yes, Melody asked, use Bluebot with 1P or 2P students is possible. So it's in fact the numbers that she's asking.
Yes, and I think you mean sharing a Bluebot between two people, or every student needs their own robot. Sharing works totally fine. And I find that is very important to do no matter what type of class. The teamwork element is really, really important. So yes, you can share, and that's no problem at all. Also, the kids share devices. They don't have their own. So the app, sometimes two people did it together. So I encourage sharing and teamwork. Good, that's a good question. does it mean classes? It was written in French. First primary, second primary.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Not
Primary.
one person, two person. Yes, use it in the first grade and second class of elementary school. Fantastic. It works very well. Mm-hmm.
Great. Thank you so much, Yungjin, for all these nice
Yes, you're welcome. Thank
workshops,
you everyone
really,
for
your
coming.
energy.